Clickbait is out of control, and personally, I think that it's got to stop. I'm personally stopping clickbait today. But seriously, I think clickbait is a really interesting facet of YouTube. It's a very interesting test of human psychology to see how dumb people are and what they'll click on. Let's see here, the YouTube clickbait starter pack. I survived, world's most extreme, shocking, Mr. Beast font. How much do you want me to Photoshop the image? Yes. And frankly, you clicked on my video, so what does that say about you and your IQ points? It's not a good thing. We watched a video from this guy recently about Markiplier and old YouTube, and I'm curious to watch this video called Mr. Beast and Its Consequences. I'm curious to see what he has to say. I assume it has something to do with how YouTube has changed over time, and I assume in this guy's view probably become a worse platform because of like the corporatization of it, but I'm curious to see what he has to say.
Now, the most enticing titles and thumbnails are found close to type 2 clickbait. I'm reminded of the infographic by Smarter Every Day showing that on social media, the greatest engagement occurs close to the boundary of what's allowable.
What if we don't copy from another human being? What if we copy from a computer? Well, that sounds to me like it would make some pretty good content. We should make kids watch it.
I feel like I can't even interact with the internet the way I used to because it just makes me so anxious all the time now. Everywhere I look, everyone's just fighting with each other. Everyone's attacking one another. You go to a...
Over the years, has YouTube clickbait become better or worse?
I haven't seen that video by Jack. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't really hate Jacksepticeye, so I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want to like start shit or something. Not that he would ever respond to me. I'm a pretty small channel, relatively speaking, but I don't know. I feel like this idea that like you can't interact in social media is kind of dumb. Like you can just give your take and then get off the internet. Like you can just tweet and then not look at Twitter. Like you don't have to look at every reply you get.
In the age of the internet, the ability to be a creator is now in the hands of millions, and YouTube has found itself as an epicenter for average people looking to make their living making all types of videos. As YouTube grows, more creators are reinvesting into their work. Good content is arguably more available now than ever, but so are creators looking to make a quick buck. YouTube is always battling bad clickbait content, but now there's a new type of clickbait, and YouTube is starting to lose. The oldest type of clickbait is what I call classic clickbait. This is clickbait. We are the
red arrow with the circle. I love this clickbait. This is fire. I want to change my thumbnails to have this. I'll put like Jake Doolittle in the front, and then in the back I'll have like a picture of Ethan Klein, and I'll like have like a circle drawn over Ethan Klein's yarmulke with like an arrow pointing to it, and then I'll put like Jake Doolittle in like a Gestapo uniform. Like Jake Doolittle is an anti-Semite. That's the kind of clickbait I want to see again. That's the kind of thing I want to embody on YouTube, and I like it. It's good. It is good. And we've talked about this before. YouTube definitely has changed in terms of like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it has changed in the sense that, you know, before when you couldn't make money, or when it was harder to make money, when there weren't as many people doing it, you know, it felt, I guess, quote unquote, more honest. And that's because advertisers weren't as big of a deal. YouTube wasn't really a thing in their mind where they're like, is someone going to come after our advertisers someday and ruin our entire platform? It wasn't really a concern for them. But after the apocalypse, the yellow dollar sign had to be created so that, you know, they can choose what ads are, what videos get ads and what videos don't, and what videos get better ads than others. And as a result, things have become more sanitized overall, which, you know, in some aspects was always going to happen to YouTube as it got bigger. You know, if you want the platform to get bigger, more mainstream, that was going to happen. But at the same time, you know, there is kind of a little bit of love lost. For sure.
But remember, what you and I consider clickbait now would not be the same for those watching YouTube over a decade ago.
True. Dude, honestly, I think that, like, if you look at, like, Critical's channel, I feel like his vague titles would be considered clickbait, like, 5 years ago. Like, this is unbelievable. Explaining the emptiness. Ticket prices make me mad. Like, this would be considered clickbait. But now... Clickbait is on a whole new level. Vague bait, yeah, it's vague bait was like the most people would do back in the day. Or like, do you guys remember Lispy Jimmy? Lispy Jimmy had some great clickbait back in the day. It was basically he would just bait that he got GTA 6 every single day. I swear he did it like 10 times. He was like, I finally got GTA 6. Guys, I finally got it this time. Well, even 1 year ago, he was doing it. Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer reaction, parentheses GTA 6 trailer. I think he did it with GTA 5 too. I'm pretty sure he did it with GTA 5. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. Right before the game came out. Sir Nando, that's another one. GTA 6, unboxing my prize from Rockstar Games with a fake cover. Some Asian streamer on the cover and some guy holding a gun.
Oh, look what I got early from Rockstar Games themselves. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Fernando, and welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you people are having a wonderful
How does anybody watch someone who talks like this? No human talks like this. It's like the epitome of fucking YouTuber voice. How does anyone watch someone who sounds like that?
day so far, man. Now, what is right beside me right here?
So he clickbaited that. But people were like, I feel like clickbait was the biggest thing you would get called out for back in the day, like 2015 to 16. I feel like there were so many dramas like this guy's clickbaiting, and now no one even cares. Everyone just does it. Everyone just does it because they realize, like, for the most part, clickbait isn't that big of a deal, generally speaking. At least compared to, you know, the 30 other YouTube gooners that have been exposed.
I'm sure many would consider this type of thumbnail to be clickbait, but his style is just standard fare now. This isn't necessarily a good thing, but these types of videos aren't the most egregious videos on the platform. We don't even bat an eye at this over-the-top style of thumbnail or video. Instead, classic clickbait by today's standards are much more cut and dry.
Let's see here. The YouTube clickbait starter pack. I survived. World's most extreme. Shocking. Mr. Beast font. How much do you want me to Photoshop the image? Yes. Yeah, the soy face is true. I mean, I do the soy face. I've definitely been trying to up my thumbnail game and see how clickable I can make my stuff. The Tom Dark live channel, we're doing a lot of title experimentation, I would say, but the thumbnails are pretty much all the same. You know, I remember a while ago I was like, I hate the soy fucking the thumbnails were every thumbnail. I would hate the channels. Every thumbnail is just like soy face with like the subject in it. But then it became me. I became what I hated. Literally every video, soy face, soy face. Some of the faces are less soy than others, but it's still essentially the same thing. Still a soy face. That was my whole swag.
It's better identified as intentionally misleading the viewer with a video that's not even related to the title or the thumbnail. It's lying. While every good video will make itself look as good as possible, classic clickbait crosses a line from being good advertising to flat-out deception.
True, but the key for clickbait. So clickbait that makes people mad is like saying you have GTA 6 and then you don't have it, right? But clickbait that will make people happy is saying you have GTA 6 and then it's a parody video making fun of other people who do that. Clickbait that will make people mad is saying you're talking about something you're not talking about. Clickbait that won't make people mad is when you're actually talking about something different, but the video that you baited people with was good enough that they're not mad that the thumbnail was baiting them, right? Clickbait's always existed. It used to be meta to put tits in the thumbnail. That was actually a big meta, yeah. FouseyTube. Well, I think FouseyTube's most popular video is, let's see here. Yeah, happy massage ending prank. Yoga pants prank with his man butt in yoga pants. Let's have sex prank backfires. It used to be the case you could just put a hot girl in a thumbnail. 50 million views. It was a simpler time. I want to go back, dude.
But YouTube has systems in place to defeat this. Despite its many flaws, YouTube's algorithm has become incredibly good at naturally filtering good and relevant content for the viewer. YouTube recommends videos based on two key metrics: click-through rate and watch time.
True, they do. Their analytics have gotten a lot more complex now. So now, if you get a video where a lot of people click it for the clickbait, but then they click off right away, the video will get recommended less and less and less because the people who are clicking aren't staying. YouTube used to, I mean, like we talked about this with the animator thing, right? It used to be the case that people would just click on a video, and if they click, you get money. Now, they have to click on a video and they have to stay. And if they stay for a good percentage of it and they get served a bunch of ads, then that video will do well. That's a good thing. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. It's more of a meritocracy, if anything.
Videos that are interesting to a large audience.
It makes it so the content itself matters more so than just the thumbnail. But there are negative consequences, like, you know, shorter animation videos not making as much money and doing as well.
With a strong title and thumbnail, get clicked. And videos will continue to get clicks if the viewer watches most of the video. The problem is that highly misleading videos and titles drive up the click-through rate and thus view count. But bait and dump videos like these struggle to have long lifespans because of poor performance in their second metric, watch time. Classic clickbait videos are like YouTube's virus. They spread quickly and effectively, but they also burn out just as fast from YouTube's recommended page because of their low watch times.
Right, which is why clickbait is usually a bad idea to develop a big audience, unless you like have some bit. Like if the clickbait is like, it's quote unquote ironic clickbait and it's funny, you know, there's a bit to it, then the audience will like it and they'll, you know, if they're watching the videos at the end of the day, you'll be fine. But gone are the days when, for the most part, gone are the days when you can make a bunch of money from just clickbaiting video titles and thumbnails and having the worst content ever. You're going to burn out real quick. You need to actually, you know, be making good content. Now, what good content is obviously very subjective. There's a lot of people on YouTube who I would say make content that a lot of people watch, but it's absolute trash. But if you make content that people actually watch, you will be fine. Hey, Tom, can I commission a drawing of Dr. Two Brains from Word Girl spoinking it? Thanks in advance. Yeah, you can do that, Dremor, whatever that means.
Content creators that rely purely on shallow content like this.
What is Word Girl? What is Dr. Two Brains? What are you talking about? I'm gonna look this up. Dr. Two Brains. Word Girl is a real thing? I thought this was made up. I thought you were making this up. What is this? Can I commission a drawing of Dr. Two Brains from Word Girl spoinking it? I mean, I guess you can. Not from me. Since Brett Cooper left the Daily Wire, are you considering auditioning for co-hosts? Yeah, I've been considering starting my conservative media career in that way.
Typically don't gain traction long enough to make it. Look at well-known creators like XQC with over 2 million subs.
Bro doesn't know about Word Girl. Bro doesn't know about Poopy Butt 49. Oh my God. Imagine not knowing about Poopy Butt 49. I'm sorry. My bad, dude. My bad. I wasn't watching this peak content.
Struggles to barely get 10% of his subscriber count in viewers, and I am confident that this is due to low watch times.
Yes, because his reactions are fucking shit. His reactions suck. Versus Asmongold, who does reaction content, his reactions are pretty good and people actually watch them. Like, you know, you can call it slop all you want, you can call it like low effort because he's just reacting to videos, but they do perform well. You can't deny that, and people do watch them. That's why they do consistently well. Asmongold has probably the biggest channel for a Twitch streamer on YouTube. I mean, he gets more views than like Aiden Ross. He probably gets more views than Kai Cenat. Monthly at least. Yeah, Kai Cenat doesn't upload that much, right, on YouTube with the videos. They're pretty short clips. And they don't do horribly. They certainly do well, but, you know, he's got way more subscribers, and yet monthly, Asmongold gets more views on his YouTube channel.
Compare him to Daily Dose of Internet, who might have the lowest clickbait rate on this platform, and the difference is vast. The lesson here is that clickbait may work temporarily, but YouTube won't support you for very long. On the flip side, the benefits of YouTube's aggressive click-through rate and watch time algorithm is that this works with creators of all sizes. Good content will generally be successful no matter the subscriber count. Look at how a tiny creator called JXC64 was able to net 1 million views with a video from this very same premise set forth by Ludwig. Think of how many
That was an interesting video Ludwig made. I know we're kind of Ludwig haters in this chat, but Ludwig basically made a video where the idea was like, is YouTube really quote unquote talent based? Is it really merit based? Can I get a YouTube video to get popular without using my voice or my face, which would give it views instantly? And he did manage to do it. He managed to do it actually. He got, you know, a video to get rather popular just by making a pretty good video that had a decent script, and, you know, he hired a narrator, and it actually blew up pretty big, which I think, you know, I feel like I see people always say you can't make it on YouTube anymore. I feel like I see a video every week from, it's like in my recommended with like 1 million views. I click on it. The channel was created like 3 months ago and they have like 4 videos. But if you just make a really good video and a few people click it at least and they watch it, it will get promoted to other people, and then it will be exponential growth from there.
Videos you have seen from small channels with barely any subs that were able to lock down hundreds of thousands of views from a well-made video on an interesting topic. But YouTube is old enough to be attending college, and in that lifespan, people have figured out how to construct the best clickbait viruses possible. Despite YouTube's system being designed to push what people legitimately want to watch, at the end of the day, it is an algorithm that has one major goal in mind: keep people watching YouTube. And because both the viewer and the algorithm are so good at detecting and avoiding classic clickbait, it's not the biggest threat to YouTube anymore.
Theft bait. Theft bait.
I have a 92-year-old grandparent that lives with us. As you can imagine, entertaining a senior is not the easiest, but thankfully, YouTube is made for all ages.
Just give an old guy a gun, he'll entertain himself for weeks. Give him a gun and drop him in the middle of North Korea, he'll have so much fun. That's meta irony.
He was a pilot in the Vietnam War, so he likes watching old documentaries about that period. It was while he was watching one of these videos
See what I'm saying? You just show an old guy war footage and he's like, yeah, brother, this rocks.
that I heard the distinct tenor of an AI-generated voiceover. Mostly unbothered, I continued about my day. But the more I overheard, the more I realized that someone was being taken advantage of. The background footage was from another creator that I had just randomly stumbled across earlier in the day, with a script that had enough grammatical oddities to make me realize that it also was probably AI generated.
Oh, this is very similar to, what's that? The guy who gets his scripts written in ChatGPT and then hires some narrator? Oh, Cedric Artman. Cedric Artman, this guy. Yeah, this guy got a huge channel off of ChatGPT scripts, basically, and got huge doing it. I don't know why he even responded to the drama where someone exposed him. The viewers of the content clearly didn't care that much. The guy behind this channel is also running hundreds of other channels, and this is just one of them. He runs hundreds of video essay channels.
Every time you block us, we get smarter.
That's nice. Every time I get blocked, I cry in the shower. But this video is not about me, or my appalling lack of masculinity. It's about ads.
And at first, you wouldn't even realize it. You wouldn't even realize this is an AI channel. Like you would think that this is actually a real guy writing a video. Like, it's convincing enough.
While we could discuss the fair uses of AI on YouTube, blatantly stealing other people's work to hastily slap AI over the top of it is not fair use. Some at least have the decency to steal content without AI by refilming it with themselves, shot for shot, idea for idea. Sometimes this stolen work doesn't even get uploaded to YouTube, but rather to other platforms that have far worse tools for dealing with theft. While we don't discuss it as such, this form of content theft, AI generated or not, I believe falls into...
Does TikTok not have DMCA? I think every platform has to have some kind of copyright system where you can take down someone's video, right? I feel like TikTok has the DMCA system. Maybe it's worse. Maybe the moderation for it is worse, but I feel like they must have a DMCA system.
Into the category of clickbait. It's a falsification of content with the intention of garnering as many clicks and as much money as possible. Channels aren't stealing from others because they have a passion for creativity. They are doing it out of a passion for money. Listen, I've been making videos on here for over 4 years. I can respect the desire to want to make a living, but I don't respect liars and thieves. What makes this type of clickbait worse is that it solves the watch time problem.
But this channel has so many views. 116 million views, 57 million. They are crushing it. They're absolutely destroying. I mean, I don't know if this content is stolen. I haven't seen enough of the videos to know, but I guess for now I'll take his word for it. That is an insane amount of views. They probably just don't care. This guy's just trying to make money. He probably doesn't give a fuck about his reputation on YouTube. And the people watching these videos are definitely children. I mean, look at these Mr. Beast thumbnails. There's no way a real adult is watching this. Thank you, Kira Lane, for the donut.
These types of videos steal what made the original so watchable, so the algorithm pushes it. Humans all borrow from each other. Heck, we even put some clips from much bigger creators at the start of this video to build credit for the topic. But there is an extremely fragile line between inspiration and theft. And all of these channels gleefully shatter that line as hard as they can in the name of earning a quick buck. These are videos that are clickbait below the surface, a type of clickbait you might not realize is clickbait unless you zoomed out.
This thumbnail on the bottom is a better thumbnail, I will say that. They did rip him off, but they did make it like the shark is like more scary. They put a little text up there, myth 199. And it didn't get as many views, but it's also been out for a third of the time. Yeah, this is a slightly better thumbnail in terms of clickability, I would say. His face is more clear. Oh, they even stole the water in the background, didn't they? That's crazy.
Maybe looked at the rest of their channel or knew who they were stealing from. Worse is that this type of clickbait is targeted to those most susceptible to it, typically older and younger viewers. The success of this continued theft has created the rise of bot accounts, burner accounts made with the sole intention of mass producing as much stolen and re-uploaded content as possible. So what is YouTube doing to fight it? Well, bot accounts aren't new for YouTube. In fact, YouTube already has detection programs as well as live moderators in place to sift these channels out. But with AI getting more powerful and people getting better at being sneaky, it's becoming an arms race between the content thieves and YouTube's moderation team.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, YouTube's such a big platform. They'll never have enough actual people to moderate it. For the majority of the time, it'll be like algorithms. And the other problem here is like, okay, let's say you want to get YouTube involved in moderating this kind of thing, right? So like, how is YouTube supposed to decide what is stolen content and what is not? It's like, okay, do they just rely off of public perception, off of what people say on Twitter or on the community tab or from commentary videos? Because if that is the standard, then you can easily just make a video raising enough hell accusing someone else of stealing your shit when they're not actually, and you can get their channel banned, you can get their career torched for doing nothing. Or in other cases, it's like, okay, you know, let's say YouTube starts really cracking down on this stuff. Do we really want to trust like YouTube, which, you know, I'd say people have been calling them out for their bad moderation for the last while, right? Do we really want to trust YouTube to moderate this stuff and to have a good judgment call? I feel like you don't want to trust them. I don't really trust YouTube to moderate their own site in a very good way right now as is. So adding another dimension to it in terms of them regulating stolen content is bad. I feel like the only real remedy, unfortunately, is taking people to court, which a lot of YouTubers can't afford. It's a very shitty situation. But yeah, I don't really trust YouTube to moderate their site in a lot of cases, unfortunately. They can't even get rid of like those bot comments on my channels, you know? You trust them to start moderating actual content videos?
A race I don't feel like YouTube is winning. If you know of a channel like this, by the way, YouTube's reporting system is still the best defense to these sorts of channels to get them off the platform. But even this is not the worst type of clickbait that has grown up recently. The newest form of clickbait has been extremely slow and subtle, to the point of it being practically normalized by now.
Rage bait.
Have you ever noticed that as the internet has matured, respectful disagreement has deteriorated? Lately, it feels like all topics from world politics to hot dog condiments have become a you are either with me or you're against me style of discussion.
I feel like that's more a function of politics and like the political sphere in general getting more toxic in the past like 8, 9, 10 years or something like that. Because I guarantee if you go to like old 4chan posts of people arguing with each other, or if you go to like old forum posts on like Dig or something, I bet there was a lot of insane shit there that you just don't hear about anymore because it was on a smaller scale, not as publicized. Thank you, Lady Wild Girl, for becoming a member. But yeah, I mean, unironically, I feel like the internet used to be way more toxic in general. Like, definitely politics has become more polarized in the past while, but I don't think it's like I don't think this is like a new, unique thing to the internet. You know, especially when people were more anonymous back in the day, they were more prone to saying crazy stuff because they thought there would be no real life consequences for it.
Totally unhelpful for changing people's minds, but nevertheless, seemingly everywhere. Comment sections and social media allow people to type anything they want with little consequences because of near perfect anonymity. Popular websites typically restrict or discourage long and nuanced opinions. For example, Twitter has a character limit and YouTube only shows part of a lengthy comment.
That's true, but this is also part of human psychology because, you know, who wants to spend fucking 3 hours reading some long, in-depth article opinion on something when you could just read a tweet that already confirms how you feel? Like, this isn't necessarily just like the internet's fault, and I think this guy realizes that, but I'm just kind of adding on the fact that this is just like a human psychology problem. I think it's the opposite. Internet algorithms shaping real-world polarization. I mean, it definitely plays into it. I don't think it's like a coincidence that as the internet has gotten bigger, things have gotten more polarizing. But at the same time, you know, the benefit to that is also there's increased communication overall, so people have an easier time talking to each other and sharing their ideas.
You are much less likely to click read more on a comment as it requires more work from you. Just like you are less likely to go out of your way to press like on a video, even if you are more than halfway through it. Everyone wants to go viral, and nothing has proven to be more effective at going viral than clickbait around drama and anger. Trend surfing is what makes YouTube what it is. Trends are often built off of drama. Channels discussing drama do not fall under this clickbait category. Humans crave stories and interactions. Discussing current events is just one way we do this. Instead, this type of clickbait has slowly pushed the boundary of what the viewer finds acceptable and what, by extension, YouTube finds acceptable.
I will say a lot of the commentary channels like More Pegasus that got really big off of, you know, Mr. Beast coverage exclusively and, you know, sensationalizing that stuff. You know, I don't think that there is no criticisms to be made of Mr. Beast. That's not the case at all, of course. But I think that commentary channels, and really any YouTube channel this could apply to, but commentary channels in particular that get really big off of rage bait are going to have a really big fall off. I think they have a really hard time maintaining their audience past a certain point. And if they don't care, like, fair enough, you know, you're just trying to sensationalize stuff. But yeah, I do not like the misinformation for sure. But on top of that, like, you know, when you blow up really big from a really inflammatory video, viewers don't really stick around past that point for you. They were just going to you because you had the most crazy thumbnail and title.
Have you ever been browsing YouTube and seen something like X thing is the best of X group? If you're like me, you may have found yourself clicking or commenting on a post like that, even though when you take a step back, you don't even care about X thing that much. Maybe I'm old, but it feels like fostered negativity such as this is becoming concerningly effective at getting views. Being critical of something, or something you don't like,
thanks for the gifts of memberships.
But going out of your way to try to get people angry at each other is much more a sinister thing.
It is sinister. The unfortunate part is that it works and is encouraged. You know, you see this in the political sphere all the time. People benefit from making one side more angry at the other and blowing things out of proportion. And it betrays their principles, but at the same time, they make so much money doing it. That's why political pundits online are getting much, much more inflammatory.
Anonymity and an internet-sized microphone are one hell of a drug, as character limits and algorithms that drive engagements have continued.
It's not even just anonymous people either. It's people who are, you know, very popular and are like actually, you know, using their face and have audiences. The more inflammatory you are, the more attention you get.
To chug along, I believe that we are losing the all-important skill of respectful critique. Whether by design or happenstance, places like YouTube have made being just divisive enough not to be canceled an easy method for being successful. It has created a feedback loop of outrage and hatred, with some jumping in just because rent is due. We've kept pushing the boundary, and unless something changes, we might continue to do so. This is a clickbait that feeds on angry, tribalistic, and counterproductive behavior designed to win arguments, not to change minds.
That's true. But ultimately, those people do get punished in the long term because their content doesn't hold up. It only caters to the most angry mob. And the angry mob doesn't actually care about you. They're not going to be a loyal audience. They just want to see you reaffirm their opinion once or say whatever crazy thing you're going to say, and then they just want to get out of there, right? That's why, like, Mr. Girl, despite all the attention he's gotten online, is not, like, extremely popular to this day. Even outside of the bannings, like, he struggled to find a real audience. And the reason why is because his content was all just kind of rage bait bullshit a lot of the time.
It doesn't seem like this is universal, however. Instead, it seems to me that we're in a time of separating and curating. Many are choosing to abstain from clickbait of all kinds to find better communities.
To be clear, the Jake Doolittle in chat is not Jake Doolittle. You guys should not be like, what? This is not Jake Doolittle. This is a fake account. Wish it was. I do wish it was real.
When a good video is made on this platform, it's almost unmatched.
I'm used to people making fun of my name. They did it in school. Called me Poo Little in the streets. Poor fella. Hello. Yeah, sorry, my bad. You are the real Jake, clearly.
When I click on a donkey video, I don't care what he's doing or even how. I care about who is doing it. Whereas other media can put up barriers between the viewer and the creator, YouTube reminds me that there is a person behind the camera, a person with different tastes and flaws and desires. Content designed to engage in short-term virality will always have its place on the internet, but I hope competition will push everyone to do better.
I mean, it does. I mean, every once in a while you have a new wave of clickbait creators pop up that do very well in the short term, and you have a lot of people that are inspired by them who hop on that bandwagon, but those people don't maintain long-term audiences, and some of them don't care because they just want to make money in the short term. They don't care about having a real audience that watches them for them, but those that do will change their ways and adapt to be, you know, someone who gets more of a real audience that cares about what they have to say, and the ones that don't will die. And, you know, their channels will die, and they'll get replaced ultimately by people who actually, you know, make good content. And that is how it will do. You know, the meritocracy does persist.
The entirety of how a consumer interacts with the world around them. With new creators rising every day, our scrutiny of those we watch is sharper than ever. Because of the amount of voices, reliable and quality sources of content is more available than ever before, even if they're just harder to find. The beauty of YouTube is that how we spend our time absolutely will shape what will succeed and what will fail.
True.
My only fear is that sticking to a side will become too popular to let real discussion and critique breathe. So for now, go support the creators that are trying to give you their best and be respectfully critical of those who do not. And thank you for letting me give you my best.
I will say I wish this guy was a little more specific with who he was talking about. Like, I feel like giving some better, because he kind of started with clickbait and then he talked about like inflammatory conversations and stuff. I do wish he would make more of a point about who specifically he's talking about as far as the, I don't know, I guess commentary channels or someone like that he wants to call out. But overall, I do agree with this point. And, you know, I will say that, like, you know, once again, the inflammatory people burn very bright and their channels die pretty quickly, ultimately. That is how it goes, you know. Support what you want and don't what you don't. I mean, yeah, people will do that long term, ultimately. That is the way it works. Good video, though. I did like that TDT video. Shout out to TDT. Sub to his channel if you enjoy that. I did enjoy it quite a bit. How can someone know they have a real audience, not just one-time watcher? Well, if your audience is consistent, right? If you're consistently matching your sub count, or if you're consistently getting a good amount of views and you see similar, you know, people in the comment section or stuff like that, then you'll know that you have a consistent audience. If not, like, you'll have one of those channels where they have a bunch of subs and then, like, one day they'll get 100K views, the next day they'll get 1 million, and the next day they'll get 20,000, right? You see a channel like that, that means they don't really have a real audience that watches them for them. They just have an audience that watches them for the topic they talk about or the inflammatory title or thumbnail, right? That's the way it goes, basically. Yeah, good video.